Alright, I'm going to make a line from 2 points now. This is one of my most favorite things to do. I know it's going to be one of your most favorite things to do. We're going to need to remember 3 equations to do this. We've got y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is a slope equation. We also have y equals mx plus b. This is the y-intercept, slope-intercept equation. And we also have y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. This is point slope. This is slope-intercept. And this is just slope. So these are the 3 you're going to need. And we'll talk about the different kinds of questions you'll see and how to approach them. First thing, you're going to get 2 points. So let's say I give you 2 points and I want you to tell me the equation of the line that passes through 1, 2, 3, 7. So this is the line I want you to tell me the equation for. 2 ways to go about it. I will show you both ways. I'll show you both ways again with another example. Well, with 2 more, in fact. So this way is the most common way. You got 2 points. The first thing you always have to do is calculate that slope. Now I've got, I'll take this one, go first, 7 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. Remember, the most important thing is that your points stay together in your slope equation. From here, 7 minus 2 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. This is my slope. So now that I have my slope, all I need is a point. Now what I generally do and generally teach my students to do is use that point-slope form and then solve for y. I will also show you how to use slope-intercept form and solve for the y-intercept, but point-slope form is my personal favorite. So I've got 3, 7 and my slope. So y will stay y, minus y1. Now here's where you get a choice. You can either use this point or you can use this point for the point in your point-slope form. I'm going to use 1, 2 because the numbers are smaller. It doesn't matter which one you use, you'll get the same answer once you solve for y. But I generally want to use those smaller numbers because it's just easier on my brain. This is point-slope form. Now, you can also use slope-intercept form. Let me show you how you can do that. I've got y equals mx plus b. And so you're going to say, well, all I know is the m. I've got 5 over 2 x plus b, and I have no idea how to get this b. Well, you've got points. You can use them to find b. I'm going to use 1 for x, 2 for y. So 2 equals 5 over 2 times 1 plus b. Now I've got one variable, one equation. I can solve for b. And so 2 equals 5 over 2 plus b minus this 5 over 2. So minus 2.5. And negative 1/2 is equal to b. Now I've got my my b value. I can write that equation. Y equals 5 over 2x minus 1 over 2. So it is possible. It is possible to take and solve for that b, and you can use either equation to solve. So this is the first way, very easy. This is the second way, a little bit harder, but if the question asks you, it really depends on what the question is asking you on your test or quiz, which approach you're going to use. If the question asks you, write an equation, this means it's up to you. So if you like to do it this way, do it this way. If you like to use point slope, use point slope. Write an equation says, I just need one equation, give one to me. There are 2 others that they're going to say, or actually 3. So write an equation in slope-intercept form. That's when you must write it in this fashion. Now there's a way to use this to get to here, and I'm about to show you that. And the other would be write an equation in point slope. You also see write an equation in standard form, and there's a video on that. But write an equation in point slope, you must use this one. So sometimes they will dictate to you which equation to use. If they do not dictate to you which equation to use, I would use point slope. It is the fastest to get to. Once you solve for slope, it's just filling in numbers, substituting them into the equation to solve. Anyway, let's say you don't want to do this. You want to use point slope to get the slope-intercept. So I've solved for point slope. I'm going to take it, and now all I have to do is solve for y, and I will have slope-intercept. So I'm going to take distribute this 5 over 2. So I have y minus 2 equals 5 over 2x minus 5 over 2. Add this 2 to the other side, and you'll notice I get the exact same equation, and I should because it's the exact same line. Y is equal to 5 over 2x minus 1 half. 5 halves, negative 5 halves plus 2, negative 1 half. So, doesn't matter which one you use, you will get the same answer in the end. It depends on what the question is asking you for. If it's write an equation, you could pick either one, whichever one you're more comfortable with. If it specifies the equation, you need to have it in that specific equation. This is point slope. This is slope intercept. So whichever one they ask you for, that's the one you give it in. Many times they will ask you to put it in standard form, and it, again, solve for make sure x and y are on the same side, make x positive, and then no fractions. That's standard form. We've got a whole video on that. But this is how you would solve for 2 points. Let me show you some special cases that you need to watch out for. We'll say 1, 3, 1, negative 5, and over here we'll do 2, 3, negative 7, 3. When you see these, many of you will say, hey, x value is the same. This one is going to be x equal to 1. Many of you will say on this one, y is the same. Y is going to be equal to 3, and be done with it. That's fine. If you can identify it just by looking at those points, that's great. Remember, these are 2 separate lines. If not, you need to be able to identify them when you get to the slope. And if not there, man, that point slope, it better be ready to go. So let me show you some things that you can do. The first thing, calculate slope in both of them. So I've got 3 minus a negative 5, and then 1 minus 1. Notice I get an 8 over 0. This should be a clear indication vertical line. I've got a 0 on the bottom. That's an undefined slope. This is a vertical line. You should stop here and say x equal to 1. All right? That's when it needs to happen. You look, undefined slope. What's my x value? X value is 1. Solve for it. The y you can kind of let go because you can solve an equation with a slope of 0. But I will show you again. We've got 3 for y, 3 for my second y, 2 minus a negative 7. This gives me 0 over 9. This is a clear indication, horizontal line. Y is going to be equal to 3. Find my y value, it's going to be equal to 3. Must be able to identify this. If you look at the slope and you've got a 0 on top, y is going to be equal to the y value. If you don't, with the y, it's one of those times that, here, let me put it in point slope real fast. Y minus 3 is equal to 0. X minus 2. You'll notice the 0 cancels this out. You can add the 3 to the other side. And you can solve for y like this, but it's just much better if you can take and identify it as a horizontal line immediately. That is going to save you a lot of time. So this is how to solve, how to get an equation for a line using 2 points.